To make my cream Napoleon, I have pulled out a sheet of puff pastry that I made last week. And I'm going to roll this out so it's very thin, about 1/12 of an inch. Now that my dough is nice and thin, and I've trimmed it up a little bit to make it nice and rectangular, I'm going to transfer this onto a parchment-lined sheet pan. And we're going to dock this with a fork. Now I'm going to let this rest at room temperature for about 30 minutes. My dough has been resting for 30 minutes and I've preheated my oven to 375 degrees. This is going to do its initial bake for about 12 to 14 minutes. My dough has been par baked. I'm going to place a sheet of parchment on top and another sheet pan. And this is going to go back into the oven for around 20 minutes. I have removed the top sheet of parchment paper and my top sheet pan. Now I'm going to reduce my oven temperature to 350 and continue to bake this until it's all the way baked through and nice and golden brown. My puff pastry is nice and golden brown. Now we're going to let this cool before we cut it. To assemble my Napoleons, I'm looking at a sanitized workstation. And I have cut up my puff pastry into little rectangles like this. To create our Napoleons, we are going to pipe on the pastry cream. And now, between the rest, I'm going to decide which one's the flatter one. Okay. Add our next rectangle on top. And pipe again. Now we're going to place our final. Just like that. To make my design, I'm going to use a straight edge. I'm going to use this paper towel and block off a diagonal section. I'm going to add some powdered sugar. And on this blocked off section, I'm going to give it a nice dusting. Very carefully remove the paper towel to reveal a very crisp line. I have transferred my powdered sugared Napoleon onto my presentation plate. Now I'm going to clean up any powdered sugar that might have fallen off of it or any crumbs. Get it nice and centered. And now I'm ready to add my chocolate medallion. I'm going to figure out which way looks good. And plop it right on top in the center. These chocolate decorations are extremely thin, so you don't want to touch them with your hands because they are very likely to melt. Now that this is done, I'm going to finish up the rest of my Napoleons, and I will show you my final presentation.